Okay, so welcome back to Photoshop for web developers. My name is Neil Pearce, and in this lesson we're going to learn how to create the footer, the background of our footer in this lesson. The next lesson we'll carry on and create the content. Okay, so the footer needs a pattern, as you can see from the final design here, and we're going to have a small strip going over the top there, and obviously a higher strip at the bottom. Pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is learn how to create the pattern that we're going to use for this. We're going to quickly create that and define that. Even though we did cover that in the first part of this course, we'll quickly do it again now, and then we'll crack on with the content and get this design wrapped up. So as you can remember, in our previous lesson we had to increase the height of our document. That way we can have a nice high footer. Okay, so first thing you need to do then is create a new file, because we're going to create a pattern and define that. So if you create a new file, so go up to File, New, and create a document 6x6, width 6, height 6, resolution 72, and click OK. Then we're going to increase or maximize the whole size of this, so Control plus all the way up to 3200. Then with the rectangle marquee tool selected, we're going to create a square, and this should snap into place, and then we're going to use the gradient tool, which should be underneath, but will be underneath the paint bucket tool. So if you open that up, just hold on to it, click and hold, select the gradient tool, and open up your gradient editor by clicking this top bar here, and we are going to give our gradients, or our gradient, double click that color stop. This one will be free, all the frees look nice dark grey colour. Then this one black. Oh, I want to move that down. Okay, so that'll be black. 0 0 0 0 0. Click OK. Then from the top, with the gradient tool selected from the top, click the shift button, hold down the shift button, and click and drag down. Control D to deselect, and then use the move tool. We're going to copy this like we usually do, shift and alt, and click and drag, and then shift that over to that corner. Then we're going to flip this vertical, so we're going to go to edit, down to transform, then down to flip vertical, and that's it. All we need to do then is go to edit, down to define pattern, and we'll call this pattern square, or SQ6. So take that away, don't need to save that. So let's create a new layer above our background layer. So click the new layer icon at the bottom there and call this footer BG. Make sure that our layers are nicely named, and then select the rectangle marquee tool, and using the info palette, we're going to click and drag about 350 pixels high. Then we're going to fill this with a colour of, if you click our foreground colour, change that to 3A 4647. The paint bucket tool selected, then we'll click that. Oh, change that from pattern to foreground, and we'll click that. Control D to deselect, open up your layers palette. Okay, so what we want to do then is give this some a pattern overlay. So double click the footer BG layer to bring up the layer styles, and then we're going to give this a pattern overlay. Mixed up here. Open up your pattern picker and locate our new pattern, SQ6, I believe. There it is. Excellent. So don't click on OK, just click away from that. Move that up there so we can see the whole most of the footer. And then we're going to change the blend mode to soft light, and then we're going to turn the opacity down to about 40%. Actually, we'll go down to about 35. Super. That's that done. Now let's create a new layer above that. So create a new layer. I'm going to call this strip, and then of course, as you can imagine, we're going to create a strip using the rectangle marquee tool. Let's click and drag that across there. Don't need to be any higher than 2 or 3 pixels. Then we're going to give this a color of 335 to 5B. Just a bit lighter than that. Fill out with the paint bucket tool, making sure that layer is selected. Okay, just select that and then move that down slightly. I'm not going over a bit. Right. Okay, so looking at our final design then, that might need to be a little bit need to decrease the height of this. So Control T and we'll just pull it up slightly. And pull that down. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so next up then is the bottom of our footer. Very, very simple. We'll create a new layer. We'll call that bottom strip. And then with the rectangle marquee tool selected, we'll just drag out around about there. It's about 60 pixels high. And I'm going to fill out with black, so just press D on your keyboard to bring the foreground to black, and use the paint bucket tool, making sure foreground is selected and that layer is active, and then click on there. Then turn the opacity down to about 25%, 20%, that looks right. Then lastly, we need to add a white line going across the bottom of that, so select the line tool, which should be within the rectangle tool, and then change the foreground to white, and then it doesn't matter if shape layers or fill pixels are selected, but we'll have shape layers selected in the options bar, and then just click and drag out, holding down shift key, a line going across the bottom. Okay, then we need to turn down the opacity to about 10, and then shift that down a bit with the move tool. We probably need to increase the opacity to a bit more than that. Okay, that'll do. And then that is it. All we need to do now then is to add our content, which should be pretty straightforward again, and then lastly we'll probably add our social icons. Okay, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next lesson.